Kevin becomes a lich. After the events of the B Team, Kevin keeps learning magic from the bagpipe, but he learns a little too much, then seeking to become immortal. After that, he becomes a lich, and is now evil. Drip turned himself in. This one's quite simple. After Drip leaves the party in the Tabiat crew, he returns to his hometown and turns himself in for the crimes that he committed against them. He later gets killed and a statue gets built of him for some reason. Meter and show us. So, we all know the characters from Family Guy, Peter and Lois. They're the parents, Peter Griffin and Louis Griffin. Parents of Megan Griffin, Snoopy Griffin, and the other two. So, one time, the character Caiaphas actually saw Viter and Shoas inside of a bar in D&D. Thanks, man. Altair Plumeros replacement. The evil Ugothals turned into Altair Plumeros and took his place. Gingledoof and Grundigar. This topic will be explained upon a little bit further in the video, but a self-insert set up inside of Gingledoof's campaign, Grundigardians. He was a smelly small dwarf and he gave us a drip hat. It's pretty cool. Baseball Boy's patron cursed Ash's lineage. So, this one, pretty easy to understand. What happened was that Baseball Boy's patron cursed Ash's lineage. Chernozy exploded. So, at one point during the early events of the B Team, Chernozy actually exploded. Human Fighter is not only a funny meme for us, but a funny meme for everyone. Basically, it means, well, basically it's just the most popular race and class combination. The Human Fighter, also considered to be two of the most boring classes, in my opinion. I would say that is true. In the B Team, we meet a religious character named Ral. Now we believe this to be Arbiter's DMPC, basically meaning, or self-insert I should say. Basically, it's just the character that represents the DM in the story. He, yeah, he was a bad guy, it turned out, but he was religious as well. So, I mean, Arbiter's religious as well, too, so I think it kind of does match up, but, I don't know, you decide. Grimlock's hand. So, here we go. Grimlock is a pirate, and his hand shows up in Tabiat Crew campaign. It is bought as a toy. The Dwarf Triton Alliance. Now this is an easy one to explain. Basically, the dwarves and the titans, the tritons, they made an alliance inside of the Kabuki Kajuka campaign, and they didn't kill each other anymore, no longer. Magical Michael's mom is most likely dead, as she had been caught in a bad accident inside of the Guardians campaign, and she's probably dead. That was the end of the first tier. I like to call it the skybox. We're moving on into something that's a little bit less well known, but still something you might be able to know. Fuck. Okay. New Arbor. This one's pretty simple to explain. Fusabi made a campaign using the Pathfinder system. It had a town called Arbor. In our Starfinder system campaign, we found a town called New Arbor. Reference! Okay, let's go on. The Discord hole. A big hole inside of the Grundy Guardians universe. What happens inside the hole? Find out. Drip Basilisk Eye Intimidation. So, Drip actually got his eye replaced with a Basilisk Eye. If you don't know, Basilisk can kind of like freeze people in stone, petrify them with their eye. And one time he tried to intimidate someone with his Basilisk Eye, which would actually petrify someone. But you know, it's okay. Two Becketts. Basically, Beckett is a character from the Pathfinder campaign hosted by Fusabi. She gets killed and gets revived into a bad zombie enemy. Call of Duty is becoming Drip. So this one's pretty simple to understand. Earlier I mentioned Gingledoof being inside of Grundigar. He gave us a Drip hat, worn by famous Drip character from the Tabiak crew. Now, we believe that this hat has been turning Call of Duty, Andrew's dog from the Grundy Guardians, into Drip, because as he's been wearing it, we can't take it off, and crazy stuff's been happening to him. The Magic Sprog. This is a famous description of Drip, John Drip Smith from Tabiak crew. It was put on a wanted sign inside of Kraken Cove. Timothy Trestle was a self-insert. This one I really believe in. Basically, Timothy Trestle was a character in the Grundy Guardians. He was a bitchy bitch kid who didn't have any skills for survival. But we had to take him around on an adventure. That's all you gotta know. Gingledoof self-insert. The first one. Viola's Drip Dream. Now this one's kind of quite scary in my opinion. Basically, what happens in this dream, they were told in this dream, sorry, there's some Star Wars video playing right now and it's fucking really distracting me. They're talking about some toy. They all have one toy and it's like red. I don't know the fucking clue what it's talking about. I see like a Lego set on the table now, and Darth Vader cereal. I'm getting off topic. Sorry, I apologize. Basically, we should continue. Basically. Viola's Drip Team. Zara's plan. What happens in Zara's plan? If she's planning on doing something in the Pathfinder campaign, what she's planning on doing is actually pretty simple. She wants to let the Ugothals continue to lead as fake leaders. I don't know why she did that. Viola killed Andrew's grandfather. This one is canon. A lethal place where blood rose will grow. This is a famous line from the Tabiat crew campaign. The character Skrelly wrote it down on a paper. It was no, I don't know. Skrelly? No, Skrelly didn't write it. Skrelly just had it. the Snake Cave. In the C team, famous campaign by famous Arbiter. Famous Arbiter. He had a cave filled with snakes, and we got through the snake cave by holding up a torch up to them, like Indiana Jones. Okay, so next, Duskins and Grundigar. This is Yellow. I'm not AFK. I'm recording a video for GoombaGaloomba&Thwomp right now. Okay. Fuck. I'm so sorry about that, guys. I'm so fucking sorry about that, guys. That's it. That was terrible, man. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that I got distracted while watching their dumb Star Wars thing. Like always, Yellow and Duskins in call, watching their dumb fucking Star Wars shit, jerking off together. Oh fuck. Anyways, moving on. Moving on. Fuck. Duskins and Grundigar. If you remember back to the last tier, Ginglediff and Grundigar was one of the topics. So, Duskins also got a self-insert character. A tall, skinny, white character. Jimmy is a copy of Two-Tone. Two-Tone is a character by Nervous Frog, a charismatic warforge. And what's this? Jimmy, a warforged. Nibbles' suicide. Nibbles killed himself by staying inside of loot bag pipe for too long and never coming out and never asking for food or anything, just died. Chip height chart. This one's simple. This is my height chart that I made. Chip Garhack made this. Famous Chip Garhack made this height chart after Gingeldoof made a terrible height chart. Chip Garhack saved the world and made a better one. Duskin, same characters. This one is simple. Let's look for an example. Nico Yazawa and Dr. Scienstein. The similarities between all those two characters are very high. He reuses characters, especially Viola, 2 times. Oh my god. Slimefolk True Origin. Basically, slime folks are they're slime people. They're folks made of slime, and their true origin are because we don't know the slime folks' true origin. The Taraxa Slouch. This is leading into Chip's height chart. As Chip Garhack needed to make a very good height chart after the Gingeldoof bad one. And this is because Gingeldoof started including specialized poses for the characters. Taraxa was slouching down so far that she didn't look like she was as tall or taller than the past 10 characters before her. It's terrible. The Forerunners have been retconned. Famous DM Arbiter, known for his retcons. He retconned the Forerunners. There were 4 of them and they were runners. Aphrodite's death. Aphrodite, the 3-headed dog from the B Team campaign run by famous DM Arbiter. Aphrodite unfortunately passed away. Moving on to tier number 3. or as I like to call it, mid lane. Our characters are attracted to us. This was a topic discussed by the D&D bros. We talked about how it makes sense for our characters to be attractive to us because we were trying to make characters that we enjoy. The best examples of this are Magical Michael to Chip Garhack, Viola to Dustgusting, or Joe to Gingledoo. Warpwood, gone in future. Warpwood is gone in the future. Kevin killed Ash in Baseball Boy. Kevin, after achieving the level of Lich, killed Ash and BBB, who died on the same day, mysteriously together. No one knows how they died. Kevin was the one that did it. Asuri Joestar. Asuri Stone, character by Chip Garhack. She resembles a JoJo's character with her star birthmark and her big muscly stance and build. Dennis character sheet manipulation. During one of our famous one-shots, the Pirate Crew, Dennis was a monkey character. Famous DM Arbiter sent his character sheet with anyone having Link being able to edit. So during the session we had many issues with Arbiter's character sheet being edited by people who were not him. Blue Alpaca. Chip Garhack's famous campaign. The character sheet used to have 5 slots for 5 characters. We did not have 5 characters, we only had 4. So Blue Alpaca, the secret 5th character, still exists somewhere in the universe. Maybe. The Vampire Ash released. Ash released the vampire at one point during the B-Team campaign. Famous B-Team campaign run by famous DM Arbiter. This vampire is believed to be gay now and living his best life with his new husband, John. The old man is evil. Basically, this is an idea that whenever we meet an older character in a campaign, it is safe to assume they are probably evil, because that is a trend that we have seen many times. Yellow, can you please calm down? Calm down. Sorry. He was getting really upset. He was yelling really loud. He's getting so angry, getting so loud, getting so angry, getting so loud. It was crazy. This yellow kid, he's fucking crazy, man. Oh my fucking god. He's such a fucking attention whore. He's a attention whore. Fuck. Okay, anyways. The drip statue. Looking back into the very first tier, Drip turned himself in. After he turned himself in, he gets killed and his statue gets raised. And for some reason, Wavy is a copy of Raja. Once again, Gingledoo copying characters from famous player Nervous Frog. The River Frog had a fish character named Raja. And Gingledoof made a character as a fish. Pineapple Brothers' disappearance. Basically, there were two brothers named Pineapple Bros. And what happened is that they disappeared during the events of the Gundam Guardian campaign run by famous Gingledoof DM. Iron Golem and Sherlock Gnomes. These are two iconic characters made by famous player Fusabi. Grundle Songs. Grundle Songs is the name of Lou Bagpipe before his unfortunate, terrible accident where he got welded to a bagpipe. Proto C-Team map. During the development of C-Team, Arbiter showed us his famous team. Arbiter showed us his map, like what he had for it so far, and it looked like a funny dog. Viola is the last Alranias are the famous race from Dungeons & Dragons. They're like leaf people. Viola's the last one. Jor Bidenland. Jor Bidenland is an island in the Gundam Guardians universe. This is a reference to famous Minecraft server, the Vidium NC, run by famous DM Arbiter back in 2018. Players Chip Garhak and B282, or Jason Nosod's Jason, create a new faction named Joe Bidenland. The Demon TV. Neverfog's very first D&D character. Baseball Boy. Basically. A very important aspect of his backstory involves a television set which has a demon inside of it, and it kind of reaches out and it curses Baseball Boy. Bad Boy points. Famous DM Gingledoof first originally introduced Bad Boy points during his Gundam Guardians campaign. Rest in peace. Getting 3 Bad Boy points meant a serious talk was bound to happen. Famous DM Arbiter. Famous DM Arbiter took this idea and made it for himself. Instead wanting to give the players a little bit of a holy shit, is that Darth Vader? I'm on fire? Sorry, I was distracted. You were saying? Basically, fuck. Well, basically, what I was saying was that what was I saying? Oh, Arbiter introduced to his own campaign, the B team, the C team, famous Arbiter DM, famous C team. Instead, he wanted to give the players a little bit more of a little bit more of the slack. Instead, you'd have to collect like 10 Mega Bad Boy points, which actually ends up being around 600 regular Bad Boy points. So Yeah. The Philosopher's Stone. Everyone knows the Harry Potter series. Everyone knows the Harry Potter series. And oh fuck me. Oh man. Woo. Basically, the Philosopher's Stone is an important item to the first book. The Queen of Arbor is an Ugothol. Ugothols are a famous monster from the Pathfinder campaign from Fusabi, famous DM Fusabi. I do want to clarify, I could have went longer. Yeah, and the video is still running. I could have went longer. Yeah, it's a big tier list. They can't hear you, you're just yelling at me. I haven't made any yet. Oh. So, I would have stayed up longer, but I thought my friends wanted to hang out at around like 7, that day. So I went to bed so I wouldn't be tired when we hung out. But I actually misread the text. They said tomorrow and not today. So, good night, my baby.
Good night, baby bestie.
Okay. Okay. Fuck. Back to the ice. Back to the sorry guys. Tier 4. I like to call this the deep zone. If you make it this far and you know every topic of this iceberg, you are a genius. The Queen of Arbor is an Ugothol. Ugothols. They are famous monster characters from Fusabi's Pathfinder campaign. They take human form and pretend to be the Queen of Arbor. Lily race origin. If you are not aware, World of Warcraft had a expansion named Mist of Pandaria, which they add a playable race, the Pandarian. A famous Pandarian, Lily Stormstout. You see her in the game. You also see her in Heroes of the Storm. She is a playable character in Heroes of the Storm. Titan is an undercover cop. During Fusabi's space campaign, there was a main character named Titan. He was a rough, beat-em-up kind of guy, but he was good-willed and had a nice heart. And it's our popular theory is that he was actually a police officer, an undercover cop. The other Loxodon bodyguards. Famous campaign caveat crew run by famous DM Disgusting. Has a character named Toscabella, formerly known as Isabella. He is a monk Loxodon.
Elephant, by the way.
And he was training to be a bodyguard. He gets separated from his other bodyguards. And the other ones, we don't know where they went. The Forerunners are still relevant. The 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 running quad of 4 actually are not retconned and are still relevant to the campaign today. Skrelly was a self-insert. I've explained self-insert about 5 times now on this video. I don't think I have to again. But Disgusting, during his famous campaign, Caveat Crew, introduced a character named Skrelly, who was an annoying piece of shit. We believe this was Disgusting self-insert. Height chart collapse. This is a very unfortunate event during the year 2020-19. The height chart, it fell over for the very first time. We fixed it, but it still was a terrible accident. Taliad's girlfriend. Famous DM Disgusting ran a famous campaign named the Caveat Crew. Caveat had spoke to a female elf in the campaign before. They were kind of getting it down and dirty. We had never seen this character ever again after that. Drip Pocket Watch Necklace Parallel Universes. Whoever wrote that is a fucking idiot. That is a really long title for that topic. The Drip Pocket Watch Necklace Parallel Universes theory is that whenever Drip uses his famous pocket watch necklace, it causes parallel universes because he goes back in time and you can see every single one. Volan exists in Chip's campaign. Shut up! So, Hugo, character in famous Chip Garhag's campaign, has a skull on his hoodie, and it is Volint from famous Disgusting's campaign. That never happened. Drip caused the destruction of Josenberg. Josenberg, important location from famous character Johanna von Josenberg's backstory. It was destroyed. Drip caused the destruction of Josenberg using his insane insane charismatic skills in the army that he had formed. He destroyed Josenberg. Arbiter perfect role model. Arbiter was the very first DM in our life, and everything we've done now has been only a copy of what his masterpiece, the B Team, once was, and will never live up to that sort of campaign ever again. Slimefolk Crater SS Holy Shit Crash Landing. Skrelly intentionally shot the other party members. Self-insert by Disgusting, famous DM of famous campaign, the Caveat Crew. Skrelly was an annoying piece of shit, and who we thought was a helpful individual turned out to be an evil person. They kept missing their shots and hitting us on accident, but maybe it was intentional. Tivetic Konst, Black Hole Theory. Tivetic Konst had a powerful quirk that let them fold objects like paper. The Gladiator one-shot. The Gladiator one-shot was one of the first one-shots we've ever had, run by Disgusting. famous DM of Taviat, famous campaign Taviat Crew. It included such characters as Lo Garrison, okay guys, we made it down to the final tier. This one's the craziest of all. I do not believe that any of you will be able to understand this tier without my advice and guidance. Starting it off good, Trinozi truly did become a god. In Arbiter, famous Arbiter campaign, the B team, Arbiter had the main character, Trinozi, run by Psycrite. One night, he was being evil, and he became a god. Father Pham died in real life. Famous character Father Pham from famous campaign Grundy Guardians by famous DM Giggledoof is a character made by famous player B282. Father Pham was modeled after a real-life pastor named Father Pham. Father Pham tragically passed away in the year 2017, and what lives on from him is the memories that we made in the famous campaign Grundy Guardians run by famous DM Giggledoof. The 10th Bonbon. Everyone knows there's only 9 bonbons, so who is the 10th? This is an insane theory made by famous DM Arbiter concerning the events of famous campaign C Team and famous characters from famous campaign B Team, famous Ash Bonbon, and famous Baseball Boy. The 10th Bonbon is Walter Bonbon. Zancoria found immortality. We are once again going back into the famous B-Team storyline run by famous DM Arbiter. The famous character Zancoria, played by famous player Chip Garhack, was searching for the Fountain of Youth, a fountain wrote about in a book that Zancoria had. It is believed that she found it after the events of famous campaign B-Team run by famous DM Arbiter. Skrelly is innocent. Skrelly, the self-insert by Disgusting. He is a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. But was he actually innocent? And was he actually being taken control of by the masterminds pulling the strings behind him? That's my theory. Drip's teddy bear was his innocence. Famous character John Drip Smith, played by famous DM and player Arbiter in the famous campaign Taviat Crew run by famous DM Disgusting. John Drip Smith did not have a lot of innocence, but the teddy bear that he carried around with him was a good portrayal of his innocence, because it was a teddy bear, and teddy bears are for children. Wabiri Rira is Willstone. Wabiri Rira, famous player, famous character by famous player Nervous Frog, takes place in famous campaign Space Campaign by famous DM Fusabi. This character had a deep friendship with famous character Floros made by famous player Dingeldoof for the famous campaign, space campaign, by famous DM Fusabi. Their bond was hard to explain, as they didn't have much experiences together besides being high. But this one theory might be able to explain it a lot better than you think. Floros had a magical being that he followed named Willstone, and it is to be believed that Willstone might have actually been Wobiri. There must always be a drip. John Drip Smith, famous character played by famous player Arbiter for the famous campaign Tabiat Crew, made by famous DM Disgusting. Is a staple character in all of D&D. He is the most original character that we have seen ever, and I don't think we will ever see one better than this. Anyways, Drip has been such an importance to the universe of D&D that once he passes on, which canonically he did, there must be a replacement. This moves on to our next theory, Magical Michael Drip Loop. This is the craziest of all. If you guys cannot handle Call of Duty, zombies, or dogs, you might want to click off at this point. Okay, here we go. The Magical Michael Drip Loop is a famous theory for the famous campaign Run the Guardians, run by famous DM Dingeldoof. Magical Michael was a John Drip Smith was a wild magic sorcerer, just like Magical Michael was. John Drip Smith unfortunately passes away during the events of the B Team. The Caveat Crew, I meant. Sorry, they're just so alike. So, after his passing, the hat gets passed on to another to become the drip of the universe. The prerequisites to be a drip of the universe include having a wild magic sorcery class. And this is what Magical Michael fit perfectly. He had already been cursed by John Drip's hat being with Call of Duty. But then, when Magical Michael put on the John Drip mask, he got sent to a crazy place that he'd never seen before. Drip. John Drip Smith's body. He had no clue what to do, but he was stuck there forever, as he was now the new John Drip Smith. Thank you guys for watching my video. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content where I examine Iceberg, so I tell you the meaning behind